back bending. Just the word invokes fear in some of us. But don't worry, today's practice, we're going to find strength and length in the spine and feeling a little bit more confident so that maybe we can move towards some of those back bending shapes. Just a reminder, you are always in control today. If you feel any pain, come out of the pose. Ease into poses gently. Grab a block, maybe a strap if you need it, and I'll meet you back. Let's start in a comfortable place. So whether you choose to take child's pose or if you're lying on your back, maybe you're just sitting on your heels with a long spine, find a comfortable pose. Find a pose that you can stay in for a minute or two. Just catch your breath. So the only thing that I ask again is the spine. And soften the eyes closed. I just want you to not change anything else at this moment. Just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, no matter what that feels like or sounds like. Don't change it yet. Just keep breathing in and out. Start looking inward. I want you to start noticing how you're feeling right now. I want you to start noticing your breath, whether maybe you're breathing into your chest or you're taking short breaths. And as you have finished scanning the body, now I want you to start softening. I want you to start deepening that breath and maybe allowing the shoulders to sink a little lower away from your ears. I want you to start thinking about calming down the mind, relaxing into this practice. Just a little bit of space to play. As your breath becomes deeper, as your breath becomes longer, you start allowing the rest of the world to just gently melt away. Let's take 2 deep breaths together. Inhale through the nose, fill the belly, fill the lower back, fill the rib cage, fill the chest. And then when you're ready, exhale with an open mouth. Good. One more deep breath in. Keep going. Breathing in, breathing in, breathing in. Open the mouth. Let it go. Take one breath in on your own and one breath out. And then when you're ready, gently opening the eyes. Now remember, we might be all in different starting poses, but we're going to meet on our hands and knees in all fours position. So however you choose to get there, that's where we begin. We're just going to take a few moments to, again, feel our bodies and play a little bit. So I want you to spread your fingers really wide here. Make sure your shoulders are stacked over the wrists. And then I want you to take your knees wide, maybe as wide as your mat. So the knees are in line with your hips, but they're wider than your hips. Now from here, I want you to just gently start moving forward on your inhale and exhale, moving back. Maybe starting soft, and then as you get going, maybe putting a little more pressure in the hands. Maybe you're moving forward and back a little more. Notice your wrists, how they're feeling today. If they're kind of crunchy, be gentle. Notice how this feels on your hips. If you have really tight inner groin like mine, this does a great job of just loosening things up. And we're going to take one more forward and back, and then we're going to begin to change it a little bit. So this time, as you move forward, I want you to send your hips forward towards your wrist. Really push the hips down and forward, and then exhale, pull them back. Let's do 2 more like that. Pushing the hips forward down towards the wrists and back. 1 more, down and forward. Really push and back. Good. Coming back, re-square the shoulders on top of the wrists, and now I want you to gently just rock from side to side. Whatever that be. I'm kind of making a half moon shape, moving a little bit forward and then to the side, but you can just move side to side here. Just find what feels good to those wrists and those hips. And then find any movement that feels good to you. For example, if you just want to drop a shoulder and play with moving your hips from side to side, or keep with the rocking of the wrists and the shoulders. Just find something that feels good for you, and then when you're ready, pull your knees back underneath you. So you're again all fours, shoulders and wrists, hips on top of knees. Let's just take 2 cat-cows here. Inhale, drop the belly, pull the chest forward as you lift the hips. This will be our first back bend shape of the day. Exhale, push. Let the breath go. Push everything up towards the ceiling. Chin tucks towards the chest. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the hips, pull the chest forward here. Exhale, round and push everything up towards the ceiling. Drop the head. Good. Coming back to center. So from here, right leg lifts behind you. Flex the foot, lead with the heel. So really think about pushing something away from you with your heel. And then I want you to drop the right hip just even with the left hip. So that means we don't want our right hip high, we want it even. Push the ground away here, make a nice space between your face and the floor, and we're going to do 3 crunches here. So take a deep breath in. As you exhale, crunch that knee under towards the nose. Push the ground away. Really dome through the shoulders here. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, crunch and push. Good. 1 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, push. Good. Lengthen the spine, lengthen that foot back, and hold here. Again, you're pushing something away with the back heel. Now I want you to think about lengthening the crown of the head to the top of the mat. So we're finding strength and length in that spine here. Keep the breath steady and even. Keep pushing the ground away. Last deep inhale. Good. Now when you're ready, I want you to bend the knee. Now open the hips. The right hip is really high. Keep pushing the ground away here. See if you can find as much space in the twist and the rotation of the hips. Last breath here. And then as you're ready, set that leg down. Whew. Shake the hips side to side. There we go. Same thing, left hand side. Left leg lifts. Now remember, the foot is flexed. You're pushing something away with the heel. So lead with the heel. Extend out through that leg. Crown of the head lifts in front of you towards the top of the mat. Push the ground away here. When you're ready, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, crunch knee to nose. Push the ground away. Good. Inhale, lengthen. The spine is long. Exhale, crunch and push. Last one. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, push. Crunch it in. Push the ground away. Inhale, lengthen 1 more time. Hold here. Now really lengthen the spine forward. Push that foot back. Flex the foot. The big toes are pointing down towards the ground. So inwardly rotate those toes. Push the ground away. Lengthen. Find strength. Last breath here. And then bend that left knee. Send that left knee up and over towards the right side of your mat. Keep pushing the ground away. Keep lengthening the crown of the head forward. So always finding length in the spine when you're twisting. Deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out. 1 more, just like that. Rotate. Good. When you're ready, back down to your all fours position. Shake the hips from side to side. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Well done, yogis. Okay, here we go. Stay with your hips stacked on top of your knees, and we're just going to walk our hands out in front of us. Walk your hands out in front of us. Now, if you're someone who's not very flexible, take a block and put it underneath your chest to prevent you from going too low. But you're going to reach those fingertips out, stick the butt up nice and high, and see if you can find stretch in through the shoulders and the chest. Now, if you're somebody who can get the chest all the way down to the mat, maybe you're on your chin. Think about pushing the armpits down into the ground and maybe even rocking from side to side, trying to get a little bit more stretch into those armpits. Deep breath in. Deep breath out, and then slowly start coming back up to center, walking the hands right back underneath you. And this time, stacking your joints again. Spread your fingers nice and wide, and I want you to step your knees back just a little bit. We're going to review that chaturanga. So coming to a kneeling plank here. So your shoulders are stacked on top of the wrists. Your hip bones are pushing forward towards your elbows. You're squeezing in through the core and you're pushing the ground away here. Now, taking a deep breath in, we're going to extend the spine and the crown of the head forward. As you exhale, the elbows start bending back towards the hips, not out to the side. Bending back, squeeze the elbows into the sideways. You should rub the elbows on the sideways as you're lowering all the way down. Good. Inhale, baby cobra. Tops of the feet pushing the ground. Lift through the chest. Exhale, release. Good. Do that one more time. Push back up into all fours. Readjust. Hips move towards the elbows. Here we go. Take a deep breath in. Lengthen the spine. As you exhale, elbows move back. Elbows are squeezing to the sideways as you lower down. Inhale, baby cobra. Tops of the feet push into the floor. You're just lifting the chest. Use the strength of the lower back. And then exhale, release. Good. Curl those toes under. Come back to all fours or kneeling position. And we'll find that first downward facing dog of the day. Now, bend your knees here if you need to. But I want you to focus on your fingers. Spread the fingers. Fingertips are pushing into the mat. Make your wrists a little lighter by putting the weight into the fingertips. Push the ground away so the shoulders are really pushing away, and then spiral the shoulders outwards so the biceps are turning in towards the ears as the shoulder blades are rolling out to the side. Lengthen through the spine, lift the hips, and then let the legs do what they will. Either they're bent, they're straight, maybe your feet are coming down to the mat, maybe you're swinging things out or pedaling the feet. Let's take 2 more breaths here. I've talked long enough. Last deep breath. And then let's start moving through those sun salutations. Inhale, look at your fingertips. You're going to step, jump, or walk towards the top of your mat. Inhale, we're going to halfway lift. Lengthen through the spine. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Knees can be bent or straight. Inhale, push down through the feet to lift. Good. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now just stay here for a moment. Remember, the hands are pushing into one another. The elbows are splaying out. Shoulders are away from the ears. Chest is lifted. And then push down through the feet. Activate through the kneecaps. Maybe you're tucking the belly button into the spine as you're pulling the frontal hip bones up towards the ceiling. Last deep breath here. Here we go. Inhale, everything lifts. As you exhale, forward fold, let the breath empty. Inhale, lifting halfway, shoulders away from the ears. And as you exhale, plant your hands, step or float back into your plank pose. Now take an extra breath here if you need to. You can drop down to your knees in this plank as well. We're just going to take one chaturanga lowering together. So shoulders shift over the wrists. Elbows bend back, lowering down to that chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra, or finding that up dog. And then as you exhale, right back into that downward facing dog. Here's the good news. That is the one and only chaturanga you need to do today. If you don't like those push-ups, just find a cat-cow coming to your knees and then meet us back in down dog. Or just push back into down dog. Skip that whole vinyasa if you wish. Here we go again. Deep breath in through the nose, looking at your fingertips, step, jump, or float. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, lift. This time, let's just fold forward on our exhale. Let it go. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float back into plank. Take your modifications, otherwise lowering down. Inhale, finding that little back bend if you choose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 2 breaths here together. Deep breath in through the nose, push the ground away, lengthen through the spine. Open the mouth and exhale. Good, inhale, breathing in. Exhale through the mouth. One more time with that sun A. Inhale, look at your fingers, step, jump, or float. Inhale, lifting halfway, flat back. And exhale, fold. Now push down through the feet. Let the energy lift you up, reach towards that ceiling. Exhale, forward fold, let everything go. Inhale, lengthening halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step or float. Take the modifications you choose here. Nobody's looking at you. Make it comfortable for you. All right, 2 breaths again together. Deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out. One more time. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Okay, we're going to move to our first kind of flow sequence today. Now, before we start moving, I want you to really think about length and strength of the spine throughout this whole flow sequence. So we're trying to find length and strength through the spine. Okay, when you're ready, inhale, right leg lifts. As you exhale, right foot steps forward. So really push the ground away. You're in warrior 1. Back heel is down. Inhale, lift. Good. So the right hip is pulling back. The left hip is pulling forward. You're reaching those fingertips up into the ceiling and you're trying to close the gap between the hip and the rib cage. So really think about pulling the frontal hip bones up and the rib cage down for your warrior 1. Okay, from here, we're going to take a deep breath in. As you exhale, shift the weight forward into that front foot. Find a warrior 3 here. Now, it could just be a little warrior 3. Now, just like we were in the beginning of class in that all fours position when we were extending our leg back, I want you to shoot the energy out of that back foot. It's flexed, it's long, it's strong. And then I want you to think about lengthening the crown of the head and the spine up towards the ceiling, reaching those hands. So you don't have to be in the full warrior 3 here. This is lovely. Deep breath in, keep lengthening. Deep breath out. As you inhale again, that floating leg comes into the chest. Squeeze it in. And then when you're ready, set that foot down. Right into chair pose, we're going to inhale, lift. So remember, in chair pose, the knees are behind the toes. We're sitting back into our chair. The chest is lifted. Now, this is a really strong position for the lower back. It takes a lot of strength. So lengthen up through the spine. You can be way up here. You can be down low. But lift the chest. The hands can be forward or up tall. Last breath here. As you exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or float right back. Take that modification. Remember, bending the knees. You can take a cat-cow. You can take that chaturanga. You can just meet me back in downward facing dog. Deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out. Let's take another breath. Inhale. And release. Okay, nice and slow on the left-hand side, and then we'll speed it up and move on. Inhale, left leg is going to lift. Lift, 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 lift. As you exhale, step that left foot forward. Warrior 1, back heel grounds. Inhale, lift the fingertips. And remember, this time the left hip is pulling back. Right hip is pulling forward. Reach those fingers into the ceiling and then trying not to let the belly splay. Pull the belly back. Pull it into the spine. Deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Take one more. Inhale. This time as you exhale, all the weight shifts into that front leg. Again, can be a baby warrior 3 or the full warrior 3. Remember, the hips are even though. So the right hip drops. Shoot energy out of that back foot. And then lengthen the spine up. Good. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Knee into the chest. Pull it in. Flatten the lower back. And then take that floating foot. Just set it down. Inhale. Chair pose. Utkatasana. So knees are behind. We're sitting back into our chair. We're lifting up through our chest. Now just think of this as a neutral back here. So you don't want to stick your butt out, obviously, and create a back bend. And you don't want to pull it under a lot and create a rounding shape. It's just neutral here with the hips and the lower back. Last breath. As you exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float back into your plank. You choose now. Just make sure you're moving with your breath. You're moving safe and controlled. Always meeting back in downward facing dog. Okay, let's move again through that. A little faster this time. If you need to take extra breaths, take extra breaths. Inhale through the nose. Deep breath out. Good. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step forward, warrior 1. Inhale, lift. Good. As you exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, knee into chest. Stand tall. Flatten the lower back. Exhale, set the foot down. Inhale, chair pose. Squeeze the knees together. Sit back, sit back. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or float. Again, it's always your choice. And even if you started with those chaturangas and you're feeling a little tired, give yourself a break. Take a different modification. Maybe come back to chaturangas later in the practice. Deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out. Let's go left hand side. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step that left foot forward. Inhale, warrior 1. Good. As you exhale, warrior 2. Length, length, length. Good. Inhale, knee into the chest. Stand tall. Exhale, set the foot down. Inhale, chair pose. Squeeze the knees together. Lift the chest. Sit back. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, move through that vinyasa or something else. All right, deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step that foot forward. Inhale, lift, warrior 1. Exhale, warrior 3. Good. Inhale, knee into the chest. Squeeze, stand tall, lift the crown of the head. Exhale, set the foot down. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float. And breathing out. Last time, last left side. When you're ready, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step that foot forward. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, warrior 3. Inhale, knee into chest. Exhale, set that foot down. Chair pose, inhale. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or float. You choose. Remember on those back bends, the chest is pushing forward. And then meeting back in downward facing dog. Let's take 2 breaths together. Deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out. Good. Deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out. Let's take one more. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Now just pay attention to your dog here. If you're starting to get lazy, spread those fingers wide. Fingertips are squeezing in the mat. Push out of the shoulders. Lengthen through the spine. And then just gently take a breath in and a breath out. Good. When you're ready, inhale, look at your fingertips. We're just going to gently walk towards our fingertips here. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen the spine. And then exhale, fold. We're going to come to nice standing pose. Inhale, root to rise. And exhale, hands to heart center. Good. So we're going to move into eagle pose. If you're not too fond of eagle, just stay in chair pose here. But that's how we're going to begin. Inhale, chair pose. So everything, chest is lifting, you're sitting back, and then you're going to grow light on the left foot. Maybe you're coming to the left tippy toes. Maybe you can take that left leg round and squeeze the knees together. Remember to sit back, sit back. Now take the arms out to the side here. Left arm is going to go under the right arm. Same thing, glue the elbows together as you twizzle up the forearms. Sit. The elbows move up towards the shoulders here. Wiggles are okay, but try to find a sense of calm. One more deep breath in this eagle pose. When you're ready, open the arms out, keep the legs, send the chest forward. And then the left leg is going to unwind and step all the way back. Find your warrior 1 again. I'll take a moment here to readjust the feet in the stance. Inhale, everything lifts. Now remember that front knee is on top of that front ankle. Push down through the back heel. And then when you're ready, hands become behind the back. Inhale to lift the chest as you pull the hands down towards the floor. As you exhale, humble warrior. So the chest moves and extends forward. Keep pushing through the back heel. Find yourself trying to glue the right shoulder towards the right knee. If you can connect the two, lengthen the spine long, and then refold. Maybe the hands are coming up over the head, but wherever you are, the head is heavy. Let that neck go. And try to keep the hips square here, so don't open the hips out to the side. Last deep breath in. Last deep breath out. Good. Release the hands from that bind. Inhale, back to your warrior 1. Straighten the front leg. Now re-square up the toes here. So both toes want to face forward, and the hips want to be even, so we're not having one hip further forward than the other. So squeeze the inner thighs together, and then we're gently going to just fold forward. Find that pyramid pose. Again, blocks here can be very useful. So you're either on top of blocks or you're reaching for the floor. Maybe you're doing a little both. I kind of like to gently coax myself down. I'll start on a block and then maybe move the block down. And then take my last breath or two with my hands reaching toward the mat. Now again, the crown is always lifting. Hips are pulling back. Inner thighs are squeezing together to square up the hips. Good. When you're ready, inhale. Use the strength of your lower back and your legs to lift you all the way back up to standing. Rebend into that front knee. Pop the back heel. So now we're in crescent lunge. So crescent lunge is a bit like warrior 1 in that the torso is lengthening to the ceiling and the hips are tucking underneath you, right? Belly button is pulling into the spine. We don't want the belly splaying out. So pull that in. Now the back knee can be a little bit bent, but you're working toward that straight leg in the back. Deep breath in as you feel that stretch through that left hip flexor. As you exhale, hands through heart center. Good. Left elbow towards the right knee. We'll find a twist here. Top hand pushes into the bottom hand to lift you off that knee and then rotate you around. Now, if you want to drop the back knee, that option is available as well. Slow the breath here. You're breathing in and breathing out. Good. One more deep breath in. Deep breath out. If you are on your knee, come back to that high lunge. Inhale, everybody let go of that twist and lift right back up to standing. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, back foot steps forward to meet the front leg. Good. Exhale, hands down to heart center. All right, so we're going to start working into another back bending shape here. So just be gentle with yourself. And if you need a strap, grab a strap. But we're moving into dancer's pose. So we're going to start with our hips even and our knees together. And we're going to bend up the back left foot. So from here, if you need a strap around that back foot, now is your time to grab it and get that strap around the back foot. If you can bind up the hand with the foot, try and grab it towards the ankle so that you can flex into the foot and find a stretch here. Remember, everything lifts, hips are square, knees are together. Find a stretch. If you're happy here and you don't want to go any further, stay. Otherwise, the rest of us are going to start pushing the ankle into the hand. The leg into the hand pushes, and you're going to start creating that back bending shape here. If the ankle is too much, you can always grab the foot as well. Top right hand reaches towards the ceiling. Let's just reach up today. So let's not worry about moving forward. Let's worry about the spine lengthening up, creating length and a little bit of strength while our foot is creating the back bend. Last breath. And then as you're ready, gently release the foot, release the strap. Both legs are straight and long. And exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Shoulders away from the ears. As you exhale, plant the hands. Just step back into that downward facing dog. I'm not so much worried about that vinyasa right now. I just want to find a little bit of length in your downward facing dog. So we did a little back bend. Let's find some length. Spread the fingers. Reach out of the shoulders to push the ground away. Lengthen through the spine. Just let the legs do what they will. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Now, if you want to go a little further, see if you can splay the shoulder blades out. So rolling the shoulder blades out, biceps twizzle in towards the ears. Good. Inhale, look at your fingertips and either just gently walk or hop, however you choose to get there. But we're going to move back into that eagle pose. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, root to rise and lift. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Sit back into your chair, Utkatasana. This time, the right foot is going to grow light. So come to the tippy toes. You can just stay here or see if you can take that right knee on top of the left. Maybe you can even bind the foot around the shin. Arms come out to the side. Right hand underneath the left elbow. Squeeze the hands together in the forearms and then readjust. Sit back. Lift the chest. Shoulders and elbows are even, so the elbows pull up towards the shoulders. Deep breath in. Stay strong. Deep breath out. Think about lengthening through the spine. Last deep inhale. Good. Exhale. Release the hands out wide. Then take the foot that's wrapped around and step it back. We're in Warrior One. Take a moment here to re-square up the feet and the hips. Remember, the left hip is pulling back, the right hip is pulling forward, and my front knee is stacked on top of my ankle. Inhale, everything lifts, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hands behind the back. Lift through the chest as you inhale. Pull the fingertips down towards the floor. As you exhale, push into the back heel to lengthen the spine. Slow, slow, slow. And once you find your full depth, the full length of the spine, then drop the head, let it be heavy. Hands might start traveling off the back and over the head. The neck is relaxed. And then square through the hips. Try not to let the hips open. Keep pushing through the back foot. Lengthen the spine out. Maybe you're coming up halfway. And then fall forward again. Good. Inhale, let the hands go. Come back up to that warrior one. And then straighten that front leg. Back foot maybe pulls in, but the toes are all pointing forward. So both toes are pointing forward. And again, you can readjust the length of your stance. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Again, always lengthening through the spine. We're finding stretch through that left hamstring. Blocks are handy. Maybe you're moving slow. Each breath you're moving a little deeper into the pose. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Square up through the hips. Left hip pulls back. Right hip pulls forward. You're lengthening over that straight left leg. Last breath. The strength of your lower back. Push in with your feet. Lengthen up all the way to the ceiling. Rebend into the front knee. Pop the back heel. So now you're in that high lunge. And again, move and adjust the feet. Right hip is pulling forward. Squeeze the inner thighs. Inhale to lengthen the spine. The tummy is pulling in. Now that back knee leg can be straight or it can be slightly bent, but you should feel some sort of stretch in that hip flexor. If not, think about pulling the torso further back. Good. Deep breath in. We'll take that twist. Deep breath out. Hands exhale to heart center. Right elbow, left knee. Push the hands into one another to lift and rotate you around. Now again, you can drop the back knee here if you choose. Sometimes I find a deeper twist if I drop my back knee. So dropping that knee is not cheating. It's working with your anatomy. Last breath here. When you're ready, if you had that back knee dropped, go ahead and lift it back up. Inhale, release the twist. Come back into that high lunge. And then as you exhale, just step that back foot forward to meet the front foot. Good. Hands to go to heart center. Okay, so square up through the hips. Knees are together. Right foot lifts behind you. Now again, take that strap if you need it. Otherwise, we're just going to find a nice stretch here to begin with. So square through the hips. Remember, the hips are pushing a little bit forward as you lengthen up through the spine. Maybe if you can grab the ankle, you can flex the foot and bring a little bit more activation into that stretch. Moving on, you can stay here, but if you'd like to move on, the foot pushes into the hand to create the back bend, and we're just going to reach up today. It's going to remind us to keep length in the spine. So the foot is pushing into the hand to create the back bend while we are creating length towards the ceiling. Deep breath in, stay calm. Try not to let the hips open. And when you're ready, gently release. Nice job, yogis. Inhale, everything lifts. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And as you exhale, plant your hands. Just step back into that downward facing dog. Again, we're just trying to lengthen out through the spine. Now you can choose to stay here in down dog, or you can choose to drop down to your knees and take a quick child's pose. Both will do the same. So wherever you are, you're trying to find length in the spine, letting the head hit the mat if you're in child's pose, or if you're in down dog, pushing the mat away and lifting through the hips. Let's just take 2 more breaths wherever you choose to be right now. Last breath. Good, and then wherever you are, meeting me back in downward facing dog. Now this next sequence is a little bit of a push. And a reminder, you can always take this next sequence from your knees here. So I'm going to demonstrate it from my knees. Those of you more advanced yogis, take it from downward facing dog. So when you're ready, take a deep breath in and lift that right leg. As you exhale, knee to nose, flying plank crunch. Inhale to lift. Let's go again. Exhale, knee to nose, flying plank. Inhale to lift. Last one. Exhale, knee to nose, crunch it in, flying plank, push the ground away. Inhale, lifting up, lifting back, bend the knee, open the hip. Now, you have choices here. You can stay here on all fours with your hip twisted. You can be in downward facing dog with your knee bent and hip twisted. Or you can find yourself stepping that right foot over towards the left side of your mat and finding that wild thing. Right? So you choose here. You can stay where it's comfortable. But think of this as another back bending shape. So lift the hips, push the ground away. Last deep breath wherever you are. And then when you're ready, everyone comes down, hands and knees. Good, hands and knees. Right leg lifts behind you. And we're going to find a modified Vashisthasana here. So the right leg is lifted, your left hand is down, but your right hand is lifted as well. See if you can lift that back foot. Now you can keep it on the ground, that's okay. I'm going to challenge you to lift it. And we're going to hold here. Those of you who want a little bit more intensity, we're going to take that back foot and crunch it in, knee to nose. Crunch and lengthen on your inhale. Exhale, crunch. Good. Inhale to lengthen. Last one here. Crunch. Good. Take that the right foot and step it forward. And we're going to have a seat on the left leg. So you're in Janu Shirshasana here. The right leg is in front and long. The left foot is in the inner thigh of the right. And we're going to find ourselves lengthening and then exhale, forward folding. Now remember, it's a lengthening of the lower back. So if you're not quite sure, you want to think about maybe even putting your hands behind you on your lower back and lengthen up. And then taking the chest and moving it over the toes. And once you start making a rounded shape, you went too far. So even if you're just right here, this is perfect. And if you have blocks, that's good too. Those of you who can reach that foot, pull the chest down towards the toes. Last breath here. And then when you're ready, inhale, lifting up. Good. We're going to try and take the right elbow inside that right knee. The left hand is going to reach behind you. Now you're going to try and find this opening here. Opening through the chest, through the side waist. You can choose to stay here if this is enough for you, or you can take that top hand over and start reaching for that right foot. All the while spiraling the shoulders open. So we're not rolling the shoulders back down to the ground. We're rolling everything open to the ceiling. Good, one more breath. And then as you're ready, gently release. And we'll cross at the ankles and roll back into our all fours position or downward facing dog. We're going to move back through those wild planks, but again, down dog or all fours, it's up to you. When you're ready, find yourself adjusting to that perfect down dog or all fours position. Inhale, left leg lifts. As you exhale, knee to nose, crunch. Inhale, lift that leg. Exhale, crunch, knee to nose. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lift. Stay here. Bend the knee, open the hip. Now again, you can choose. Just stay here, finding stretch. Whether you're in down dog or all fours, it doesn't matter. Stay here. Otherwise, those of you who want to go further, take that top left foot, step it behind you, and find that wild thing. So again, think of this as your back bend. Lift through the hips. Lift through the chest. Push the ground away. Your right leg is straight. Your left leg is bent. You've got one more breath. Make sure your shoulder, your supporting shoulder and your wrist are stacked. And then everyone comes down into all fours position. Really nice, guys. Okay. Modified Vashisthasana. So take the left leg and extend it back, and you're going to roll open. You're on your right hand and your right knee. Left hand is reaching towards the ceiling. You can keep the left knee down or you can lift. Or again, we're just going to find 3 breaths here. Otherwise, we're going to find those crunches. So you choose which modification suits you best. Take a deep breath in. Lengthen the crown of the head to the top of your mat. Push that foot away. Good. Crunch, knee to nose. Exhale. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Good. Take this right or the left knee and step it forward. And then we're just going to sit the hips back. And we're going to find that Vashisthasana on the left-hand side. So the right foot is in the inside of the left thigh. You're going to square up through the hips. Chest is lifted. Lower back is lengthened. And you're going to forward fold. So think about the chest moving over the toes here. Doesn't matter where you are. Maybe you're even using a strap here to gently coax your spine longer. Come back to that slow breath. Deepening the breath and deepening the pose. You've got one more breath here. And again, if it's a little too intense and you need to bend that knee a little bit, bend the knee. It's all right. Inhale, lifting up. And we're going to take the left elbow inside the left knee. Right hand opens up behind you. That's going to help you spiral that chest open. So if you're feeling a good stretch here, stay. Otherwise, that top right hand goes up and over. You're still spiraling open as you reach towards the left toes. Maybe close the eyes here. Find yourself opening through that side waist. One more breath. And when you're ready, coming back to center. Okay, so moving through our last back bending pose. We're going to find ourselves with a block in between our feet. Finding it right there, in between our thighs. Now you can have it at the highest setting as well. I'll show it through the highest setting. But we're going to move through camel pose, and I like to teach camel poses in stages. I think we've done this in a few videos before, but just in case you've missed those videos, we're going to start by sitting up tall and pushing our hips a little bit forward. We're really thinking about lengthening everything up to the ceiling. That's the first thing. When you do any sort of back bend, you're lengthening through the spine. So I want you to find yourself really lengthening the spine up. Now from here, pushing those hips a little bit forward, lifting through the chest, and taking the right hand and reaching that block behind you. Inhale, back up to center. And then as you exhale, maybe moving towards the left. Now, if you find any crunching of the lower back or if anything's uncomfortable, just fall forward into child's pose here. Stay doing this exercise, otherwise move a little deeper. Instead of just touching the block, maybe you're placing your hand on the block. Now remember, your hips are pushing forward, and when you want to come out, hips push forward as you lift the spine up. And then maybe moving to the opposite side. Now, those of you who have a camel practice can move through your practice safely. Now, if you're looking to go a little further, go ahead. You can move through the lower settings of the block, or maybe you're coming to the ankle, right? But it's the same thing. You're lengthening through the spine first, pushing the hips forward, and then reaching. If you want to try for the full pose, same thing. Lift through the chest, lift through the spine, hands come behind you.
And then if you're okay here, maybe you can try flat feet. Always lifting through the chest. And then when you're ready to come out, it's like a string. Somebody's pulling you up. Okay, so find your back bend. If you need to press pause if you want to stay here a little further. If you're done, find a child's pose. So move those blocks out of your way, and we'll find ourselves just coming into child's pose. Let your forehead hit the mat. Let the back soften. And just, again, trying to find a little bit of length through the spine. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let's go one more. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. When you're ready, coming back up to all fours. And then lowering down onto your back. So let's find a little bit more strength in the lower back. We're going to roll onto the tops of our thighs. Our feet are glued together in the back. Try not to let the feet come apart. Glue them together or place a block in between the feet if it reminds you to keep squeezing the feet. Hands are going to be towards the hips today. Now we're always looking at the floor. Our neck is in line with the spine. We're going to take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, I want you to lift the shoulders and the chest. Maybe you're also lifting the feet, and we're going to create this little banana shape. So we're going to hold here, but we're not going to hold our breath. And you can come out of the pose at any time, but in addition to lifting the chest and the feet, really, let's think about lengthening the spine forward and the toes behind you. So instead of thinking height here, I want you to think of length. You've got one more breath. Keep squeezing the feet together. And then as you're ready, release. Make a pillow for the head. Bend the knees and just swish the feet from side to side. Good. Deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Well, when you're ready, we're going to come back up to all fours position and have a seat. We're going to find figure of 4 on our backs. So laying onto your back here. Let me just readjust this microphone. Okay, right foot comes up to the ceiling. Let's keep our left knee bent and our left foot on the floor. Right knee on the left ankle. The right hand goes through the keyhole you just made and pull that left knee into the chest. We're going to take 3 deep breaths here. Let your head and your lower back, let it just soften into the ground. Try to find as much ease here as you can. Not a lot of effort, it's just all ease. This is the part where we just really let go. Last deep breath. Good. When you're ready, release that knee with the hands. Take both feet up to the ceiling. Flex the feet, extend the heels, push them into the ceiling. And then when you're ready, the right knee bends, the right foot plants. The left ankle comes on top of the right knee. The left hand goes through the keyhole you made, left, and you pull the right knee into the chest. Again, softening the neck, the head. Close the eyes maybe. Relax, relax. Maybe just take this time to congratulate you on a great backbending practice. So whether you decided to go deep into those poses or you were a little more cautious, it doesn't matter. Each time you move through backbends, you gain a little bit more confidence. And you gain a little bit more strength. All right, last breath here. When you're ready, release the knee. Both legs straighten, heels push up into the ceiling. And then when you're ready, take the legs all the way down to the ground. So we're extending our legs all the way down to the ground. Really nice yogis. Okay, so we're going to take our hands
underneath our sacrum. And we're going to make a diamond shape with our hands here, underneath the hips. Once you have that, straighten the legs back out. And then you're going to slowly see if you could come up onto those forearms. And then pull the elbows in underneath you. Now from here, you might need to readjust the hands. You might not be in a diamond shape anymore, but the elbows are pulling underneath you. You're going to lift the chest up and you're going to squeeze the shoulders back behind you for fish pose here. Now, those of you who want to take it a little further and can lift the feet in holds, that's great. If it's uncomfortable from your lower back and you want to bend the knees, that's great too. But think about really finding a little extra space between the two chest muscles there. Pull the chest forward, shoulders are back. Good, last breath here. And then as you're ready, gently lowering back down onto the mat. Good. Both legs go back up into the ceiling. Flex the feet, heels push the ceiling away. And then when you're ready, bend the knees. Both knees go to the right side of your mat as the top part of your torso rotates towards the left. Let's take a nice spinal twist. Now, if you want to eagle up the legs here, of course, you can take that modification as well. But we're trying to ground the knees. Let the knees be on the floor or on a block or a pillow. And let the shoulder float if that's what it wants to do. And with each breath in and each breath out, you're trying to just let go of any tension of the muscles. Nothing should be working here. Finding deep release. Take one more breath. And release. Good. Inhale. Knees back into the chest this time. Into the chest. Push the knees into the chest. Flatten the lower back into the floor. And again, last time, straighten the legs. Heels into the ceiling. Bend at the knees again. Knees move over towards the left. Again, you can eagle up the legs if you choose. Otherwise, the knees plant. And your torso and your gaze moves towards the right. Release the breath. Soften the eyes closed. Let's just take one more breath. Well done. When you're ready, coming back to center, knees pull into the chest, flatten the lower back, and release into your Shavasana pose. So maybe your Shavasana pose is a little different than you took the last time. It doesn't matter. Just find that comfortable pose that speaks to you today. The spine is nice and long. The palms of the hands are facing towards the ceiling. And you're going to close your eyes. Gently take a breath in. Send that breath all the way down to the belly. Let the belly expand. And then as you exhale, let the belly just fall. Relax. Good. Going again, breathing in, fill the belly. And as you're ready, release that breath. Keep the breath moving slow, the belly rising and falling. I want you to gently just start scanning from the top of your head, moving down. And each body part that you touch upon, I want it to relax, to grow limp, until you reach all the way down to your toes. And you have been reduced to just a puddle onto your mat. Try to calm the mind and let everything go. And if you have trouble calming the mind, begin to count the breath. count your breaths to 10, and then moving back down 10 to 0. Stay here with the breath. Now, if you need to stay a little longer, just push the pause button and stay for as long as you like. Otherwise, gently start wiggling fingers and toes, allowing the body to come back. Take a deep breath in. And when you're ready, pull your knees into your chest. Either stay there or roll to the right side. And just take an extra breath there. And we'll meet in an easy seated pose to close out today's class, just like we always do. So sitting up nice and tall, chest is lifted. Deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out. Thanks for joining me, yogis. See you next time. Namaste.